It's getting late. 3 of us are returning after attending a wedding ceremony of an office colleague. 3 of us mean me, Rathan, and Sue Chauvin. On the one hand, we're such great friends. On the other hand, there are many differences of opinion between us. Whenever we 3 sit together, we start to argue on various topics, especially Rathan and Sue Chauvin. Rathan is an atheist. He wants to verify every inch of the world with rationalism. And Sue Chauvin is a very pious man. We got up in the empty compartment. Sue Chauvin said, "Luck. This is called luck. Do you understand now, Rathan?" That was the beginning of the debate. Good luck, bad luck. Then the discussion went to astrology. Rathan is dismissing everything as a hoax and a superstition. And Sue Chauvin is making a counter-statement. Such which astrologer made predictions in which country and in which year, etc. Rathan is trying to refute all the details with all the sharp arguments. And me, I'm trying to support them both. Sometimes I'm shaking my head for Rathan, and sometimes for Sue Chauvin. In today's debate, Rathan is in a win-win situation. He said, "Listen, to this day, no one has been able to speak accurately about the future. Everything that seems to have matched is a loose assumption. The whole thing is cleverly wrapped up. It could be X or it could be Y. That's the technique of explaining everything. People who have faith in astrologers are impressed by those rules. That's how it works."
So, you're saying the future cannot be predicted?
Just then, a man speaks up from the other side of the compartment. The 3 of us look back. Rathan measured the man from head to toe. The man is sitting with his body covered with a gray-black sheet. His face is filled with a white beard. The age is not definite, but it must be around 60. He has a dirty bag with him. At first glance, it's not strange to think that he's a vagabond or crazy. The man put the sheet aside and came towards us. Rathan said in a slightly diagonal manner, "What do you think? Can the future be predicted?"
Yes, Shakespeare said, "Many things happen in this universe that are beyond our comprehension."
We know all these things. I want to hear from you. What's your opinion? The man stared at Rathan for a moment, then he smiled a little.
To be honest, there is one thing in this bag that I can show you, and after you see that, you might change your mind.
Sue Chauvin seemed very excited. "Are you an astrologer?"
No, I'm just an ordinary guy. I can show you something that I learned by the grace of my guru, if you wish to see.
Oh, okay, so now you'll bring out a skull and tell us the future using that skull, right?
No, it's not like that. I can only draw. I can draw a little bit.
I don't get it. What to draw?
The future. I can draw the future. I can draw any man's future portrait. I can show you the picture of the age you want to see.
Everyone is silent. Then Sue Chauvin said, "Very interesting." Huh, interesting. This is a new kind of cunning. All bogus. I stopped Rathan and looked at the man. He picked up his bag. He said there was something in the bag. "You have drawing tools in that bag?" The tools are nothing more than a drawing pad and a pencil. My guru gave me that as a gift. Who is your guru, by the way? The man who could give such a powerful gift. He must be a world-famous guy. And you also. This learning is not for money or fame, but it's allowed to show the disbelievers. And speaking of my guru, you will not recognize him. He lived a solitary life away from the locality. The train was crossing a bridge. Cold wind was blowing. In the soft light, there's a creepy atmosphere in the train compartment. And the words coming out of that man give me a shiver. He is saying that he can draw a portrait of the future. How is that possible? How do you draw these portraits? Can you see those images? The man shook his head. Means yes.
The picture floats when I close my eyes and touch the pencil on the pad. I can draw it immediately.
Then draw a portrait of one of us. Okay, draw mine. How would I look like at the age of 60 to 70?
Doesn't work like that.
You have to write on this pad any future time, year, date, even hours and minutes. Eternity is eternal. Specify a point. The man took out a pad and a pencil and proceeds towards Sushovan. With the calculation in his mind, he wrote on top of the pad, 20th of August, which means he will be 76 years old then.
Write more such hours and minutes.
Sushovan looked at us and smiled a little. Then wrote at 9:15 p.m. He will just draw up a random picture. I was looking at the man from the beginning. The man gently touches the pencil on the pad and stares at Sushovan, and then slowly, the two eyelids are coming down, as if he's hypnotized and falling asleep. Surprisingly, the man starts to draw on the pad with his eyes closed. How long did it take? Not even a minute. The man opens his eyes. He extends the pad towards Sushovan. The three of us leaned over. There's a picture of an old man. He's bald, wrinkles all over the face like a spider's web, thick glasses on the eyes. I don't know much about painting, but I have to say that the man is very good at it. Only a few strokes of the strong line have brought the picture to life, but the question is this really Sushovan? How can you prove that he would look like that in the future? There are no signs of tooth decay yet, and there's no guarantee that the face would be like such a dried fruit. He might get fat at that time. I also have the same suspicion, but it's not possible to prove the accuracy of this picture at this moment. Well, we have to wait 40 years to prove whether it really matches or not. No, we don't have to wait 40 years. What he draws is 100% accurate. Oh, I see. You have a vision of the future now. Listen, I saw my grandfather. He died 7 years ago. Everyone says I look exactly like him. I saw a picture of his young age. He looks exactly the same as me. He also had dense hair on his head. He died at the age of 78. I don't believe it. You want to put me down. That's why you're making up such stories. No, not at all. Believe me, I can take you to my uncle's house and show you the picture. No, I want to decide it now. Rathan's jaw tightened. He turned to me and said, "Let him draw your portrait. I know you'll be honest about it." Me? I mean, the way Rathan said, I had no choice but to hesitate and write the same date on the white page of the pad. Sushovan and I are the same age, so I also would look like him at the age of 75 to 76. Let's see how the picture looks like. The man closes his eyes, but this time the pencil did not move. There was not a single stain on the white paper. I looked at the man with questioning eyes. The man looked at me for 2 to 3 seconds and slowly shook his head left and right. What's wrong?
It's blank. No picture of that age can be seen.
Why can't the picture be seen? The man bowed his head. No answer. Rathan said with a poisonous smile, "That means you don't dare to face it anymore." No, hold on a second. Do you mean I will not live to that age? That's why you didn't see the picture?
Yes.
Wow, excellent. Now we're talking. All right, let's reduce the date to 2 or 5 years. You'll definitely see a picture for sure. Also, we can find out when he will die. Draw 5 to 7 times and you'll get an accurate result. Am I right? The man raised his head and looked at Rathan, then said,
"No, you're wrong. I can only draw a picture of a man once. I can't do it a second time."
Really? Then draw a portrait of mine. Give me the pad. I'm writing down the time, month, and date. The man pushed the pad forward. Rathan wrote on the pad on 26th of June, 2020. Rathan, hey, you have to write a time in the future, and this is today's date. Wait, brother. Rathan smiled. Then he looked at his watch. 10:45 p.m. 11 o'clock at night. Now, let's see what I would look like after 15 minutes. No more guessing. Before we get off the train, it'll prove that you're lying or not. The man looked at Rathan. Then he closes his eyes and almost immediately opened his eyes. The pencil did not move a bit. My heart was pounding. Sushovan made a faint scream. And Rathan stood up. He's shaking. What do you mean?
I couldn't see the picture.
What?
I mean, I didn't get to see the picture.
What do you want to say? I'll die after 15 minutes?
I'm not saying anything, but if the picture does not appear on the paper, then it means yes.
All right, I'll get off to the next station. I'm sorry for bothering you all. No, you'll have to resolve it. You have to admit that you're a fraud. You were trying to deceive us by telling lies. Rathen's fist tightened, and his forehead veins swelled. The man went to the door and stood there. The train is crossing another bridge. The compartment is shaking. Lights are fading. Rathen gritted his teeth. See how the thief is trying to escape. The man looked up. In the rumble, we heard him say,
15 minutes is not over yet.
"Oh, so you're not done. Wait, I'll teach you a good lesson." Rathen made angry roars and went towards the man. He was about to punch that guy. But the man moved away from the door and Rathen. We saw him stumble on an iron that was high on the floor and fell through the door. And just then the train shook violently, and at the same time the lights went out. A scream for a second process and slowly blew into the air. We sat motionless. The bridge ends. The train is running on the hard ground. Lights come back. There's no one at the door. Neither Rathen nor the man. It's just the wind. The train is running fast. I looked into my watch. It's 11 o'clock at night.